huge game against Villa coming up. You're having a great run of own goals going in your favour at the moment as well. Is that good luck, or is that a sign of the pressure you're putting your opponents under?
Well, that's what we want, that every opponent that comes here suffers, and that we are as dominant as we were today again for the majority of the game. And against Villa we have a really tough match. We know their level, what they are doing, but beautiful game as well to prepare and play.
And it's not long since you played Villa and lost to them. What needs to change, and what did you learn from that game that you can...
We will watch it back. I have a few ideas and things that the things that we have to do better, and it was quite cruel as well the way we lost it, but yeah, we'll learn from it.
Sam, take on.
We know how much the club invested in the summer and how deep the squad is when players are fit, but players aren't fit at the back, and January's coming around quite soon. Is there a chance you think that you could look in January for maybe more defensive options?
I don't know. We're going to be really, obviously, aware of the situation and the time scale of certain players. If going from the front line then to the back line. But that's the depth that you need. I mean, when you look across the other clubs as well, they have 24, 25 squad players. And so there's nothing special in our squad. The thing is that obviously we had more injuries than expected, some of them not avoidable, I would say. But we want to be better, and we know how important the part of having the right availability with players is going to play in the season.
So you don't feel that the squad is full? There's space for more if you need it?
Depending, as I said, on the availability of certain players. So the window is there. I mean, we are Arsenal, and we have to be looking at it. Okay, what do we need? And we have to be actively looking. And then, can we do it or not? That's a different story. But our job is to be always very prepared, because something can happen. So hopefully, very positive.
Do a couple more, Phil, from Pierre.
Hi, Mikel. There's obviously a feeling that it'll be between Arsenal and Manchester City for the title. Obviously, Villa are in third position. Do you think that they are genuine title contenders with you and City?
Well, they made it to be there. Look what they are doing and how consistent they've been. What Unai has done with the club. So I think they fully deserve that credit, because they are doing it on the pitch, where it is where you have to show your level.
And just one on victories now, 7 games without a goal in open play. Are you concerned at all about that? I know we've spoken about it a lot, but is that...
Yes, because we wanted to score, obviously. He had a few chances today, a few great positions. The ball didn't arrive, so keep insisting. It's the only way.
And final time.
Mikel, just on transfers, in terms of outgoings, given we've seen the situation where players can go down, would it make you reluctant to let anyone leave the club in January?
Again, we assess every situation. I leave that much more to Andrea to understand what's happening in the market, and then the individual players, obviously. We have to assess where we are with each of them and get the best situation.
And with the Villa game and watching back, you said there it can be cruel, but can sometimes for the players that be a good thing to watch back? You know, something that's painful.
If you use that motivation and that hunger in the right manner, for sure.
Okay, guys, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Underway to win at Nottingham Forest. They had been free-flowing before that. Arsenal have had own goals come to the party for them. They won their last game with the penalty as well. That was against Everton. It's been a very different feeling to perhaps earlier on in the season.
Yeah, it has, and that's what pressure does to you. But I think, as we just spoke about Manchester City, you find a way of getting it done, and Arsenal are doing that. And whether it be the attackers scoring goals or defences, putting their bodies on the line, they have looked quite nervous when they've gone ahead, but still at the same time they're still finding a way to get the wins, and eventually that kind of free-flowing football will come back. But it's about margins and percentages, and right now Arsenal are using that to their advantage.
What does it tell you that they have so many own goals in the last couple of games?
I know what you're saying, but it don't really tell me a lot, to be fair. It's just one of those things that's really unfortunate. I know what you're saying. They're still putting the balls into good areas, and that's the most important thing, and people are challenging them. So I'd say more about the delivery and a good build-up play as well. But the one thing I'll say is Declan Rice played right back. They got Aston Villa in the week. You don't want Declan Rice at right back, because I think Arsenal misses driving force in the middle. But they have had a lot of injuries, but having Gabriel back coming onto the pitch, huge boost for Arsenal.
Yeah, I think the defensive worries have been well documented, but that man in between the sticks there, and as I mentioned,
my goodness,
is this a goal-saving save from David Raya, perhaps save of the season?
This must be Clinton, I'll let you say.
Oh, this is magnificent. Listen, when I was watching this, Jules, I was like, oh, go, what a finish from Minter. But look at this. This is unbelievable from David Raya. And come the end of the season, if Arsenal go on and win, You won't forget about this, will it, Benny? It was
What a
brilliant.
save that is.
Yeah.
Even Mintar looks at it and goes, if it's scored. But that is why you've got a top quality goalkeeper in David Raya. When they first brought him in over Aaron Ramsdale, I thought, I didn't quite see the uplift in terms of bringing him in. But that save there tells you all you need to know about David Raya. He has been one of the best goalkeepers in Europe the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, because that was when the game was 2-1. That's the difference between a victory and a draw. And those 2 points are what keeps Arsenal top of the table, really. Manchester City still breathing down their necks, 40 points. Then Aston Villa just 1 point behind. There is no breathing room between the top three. And Arsenal and Aston Villa, as you already mentioned, Clinton, go toe to toe. Manchester City will be watching that one.
That's a big game. That is a huge game. Listen, I think it'll be like this for most of the season. It's brilliant. We don't want just one team running away with it, unless you're Arsenal, Man City, or Aston Villa. But this is a big game. But I do think Arsenal will be too strong for Aston Villa. I do think that. I think Arsenal will win it. I just thought I'd put it out there, Jules. I know you didn't ask me that, but I think Arsenal will be too strong for it.
Oh, it's a big one. We'll all be looking ahead to that one in one of the last rounds of Premier League action before. Well, I get what he's saying there. There's still a lot of football to be played, but they are contenders, whether he wants to admit it or not. Aston Villa are the form team in the Premier League right now. Look at that, 8 Premier League wins in a row.
Yeah, 100%. I know we talk about Arsenal being in the title race, Manchester City, and Villa are right there with those two teams, of course. And with the form that they're showing, 8 wins in a row, I think it's 11 in all competitions.
Yeah.
In all competitions, they are absolutely flying right now. He's got a squad of players there that believe in what he's doing. But what he's done there in a, I won't say a short space of time now, he's been there a couple of years now, is he's transformed them into a team now that can go toe-to-toe with anybody. It's just, can they do it over sustained 38 games? But right now, they are certainly one of the informed teams, not only in the Premier League, but in Europe.
You can understand why he wouldn't want to have any talk of a title race, because his team right now, the way they are playing, if you look at Arsenal and City, the energy is very different at Aston Villa. They are enjoying it. The celebrations with the fans kind of tell you everything. And they're not playing with any pressure, really.
No, they're not. His interview is brilliant. He's not putting pressure on his players. Within inside and in the dressing room, they don't know what they need to do. But when he's asked, and when people are going to interview him and say, are we in the title race? No. If the season was over in a couple of weeks, then yeah, we are in a title race. But no, that's a fantastic result to go to Chelsea. Because in the first 60 minutes, they were nowhere near it. They didn't turn up. This substitution of Ollie Watkins changed the game. I thought he was fantastic, caused all kinds of problems. But yeah, big result for Aston Villa. And then they go to Arsenal in midweek, and that's a huge football match.
Yeah, especially considering what happened when they played each other. What was it, just 2?
It's a huge match at the Emirates tonight, one that could prove significant in the Premier League title race. Leaders Arsenal played third place Aston Villa. And is this already a must-win for Arsenal? We'll get into that shortly, but first here's a reminder of what happened when the two sides met earlier this month. The scores were level at 1-1 at Villa Park, then this happened in the 95th minute.
Buendia again, camera has a go, chaotic scenes, Buendia wins it for Aston Villa with the final kick of the game.
Good morning, Charlie Austin. Right, is this a must-win for Arsenal?
I think so, because if they don't win, everyone will start be asking questions saying, "Oh, they're dropping off, they're going to wobble again," and then it just opens to have a big can of worms. So I think it is a must-win for them, and predominantly, you think Arsenal favourites going into it, and why would you have to win your home games if you're going to go and win the title anyway? So I think the biggest thing now is they'll look at it and go, "Can we win this game and then move on to the next one, and then the next one?"
But after tonight, it's only the halfway stage of the season, right? So I think, well, surely it can't be a must-win at this stage, especially when they're 2 points clear at the moment. Also, away from home, they've already faced, if you look at, let's say the top 7 here, so Arsenal +6, they've played Villa away already, Liverpool away already, Chelsea away already, Manchester United away already, and you'll add Sunderland in there as well. They've played them away. There's only Manchester City left to play away out of them. Everyone else is at home. So surely they can afford to slip up, and it's not a must-win.
They can't, though, because you're thinking about, they've played them away games. How many points have they picked up in them games? You're only saying they've drawn 2, won 2, lost 2.
Yeah, of the current top 5, they've not won any of those away ones.
Well, then, so that speaks volumes. So they need to go and make sure this is a win tonight. So you level it off. Villa beat them at Villa Park. They go and win there, then you almost level off, so no one took any points off anyone, really. So that it comes to a must-win. Because if Villa win tonight, they've taken 6 off Arsenal, who have been leading the Premier League title race from the start.
we're going to actually get right into Aston Villa shortly. We're going to start with we're going to keep going with Arsenal at the moment. Up front, who starts? You've got Gyökeres, you've got Jesus, or you've got Marino, because there's no Havertz still. Or I suppose you could say Martinelli, whatever.
I think the tough one is with the Gyökeres scenario for me is, do you keep playing? Do you keep playing to try and get him into form? Arsenal are creating the chances, but the whole team's not scoring. It's not just predominantly on him. Standout one for me that is always there is Marino. Whenever he's asked to do a job up front, he scores. He performs for the team. When Gyökeres is up there at the moment, it's just not clicking for some reason. Maybe it's just he's going to take time to find his form. Let's be honest, the Portuguese league to the Premier League team is chalk and cheese. So for me, I would go for Marino tonight.
So you go for a central midfielder rather than two out-and-out strikers. It is the poll at the moment today that we're running at the moment, who should start up front out of those three. And you can see that it's Victor Gyökeres who is leading that one in terms of the viewers. But if you were a striker like Gyökeres or Gabriel Jesus, how furious are you going to be if a central midfielder starts ahead of you?
Oh, I'm going to be raging. I'm going to be fuming.
You'd still do it.
If I was the manager...
You'd put Marino up there.
Yeah. But if I was from the outside looking in, absolutely. Because them two are not doing... Yes, right, Gabriel Jesus has been injured, and as is worries, and he's going to take time to come off the bench, build his minutes up. But Gyökeres hasn't been doing it. 5 Premier League goals?
Gyökeres, for Arsenal this season, he's got 1 in 3. He's got 7 in 21. That's Champions League and Premier League. That's 1 in 3 for someone who you just saying chalk and cheese between the two leagues.
It is.
Out Portugal and here. Yes, it's not that bad a start, is it?
For 60+ million? Coming from Arsenal. I think that I'm going to say yes, it is. And the reason
but
why
for 60+ million, he's got to start a game.
But he hasn't done enough to start.
If it's a must-win game,
Tom, if you are a goal scorer,
all that money, he's got to start.
Tom, if you are a goal scorer and you're brought in to put the ball in the back of the net, that's something he ain't be doing. Let's be real. 1 in 3. 1 in 3 for someone that's playing for a team that creates that many chances at the top of the Premier League. That's not good enough. No Arsenal fan can tell me that Victor Gyökeres has done enough to score goals, to perform and to start. And everyone says, if your performance is going well, then it links it all together, then you can score, then the goals will come. He's obviously not doing enough because of the chances that they're creating are not falling his way, or he's not getting in the right positions.
We've been harsh on Gabriel Jesus there, not mentioning him because
he's been
injured.
Gyökeres,
you've said Mikel Marino. Yeah, but he's fit now, so...
Yeah, but
could they start him now because he is a striker?
But then do they want to throw him in straight away, or are they going to bring him off the bench for a couple of games and lead into that way of starting? That's why I'm going down the route of Marino. Gabriel Jesus had his injury, whereas he's back fit now, but may take a couple more games to come off the bench. Gyökeres ain't done enough. You're only putting him up there, to keep running the channels? He ain't done enough for me.
Right, well, Sky Sports are partnered with Finalysis to discover true fan opinion. We'll get on to the strikers in a moment, but is this a must-win for you?
Lovely highlight reel you had me watching a few minutes ago, guys. Recapping that Wendy goal, that was fun. No, I don't think it's a must-win game for Arsenal. I think that's the luxury of being 2 points ahead. I don't think it's a must-win for Villa either. You know, I think they're in a position where psychologically they know that they kind of have one over us. We've got the weird Emery hoodoo, and, you know, they can afford to go into that game and just go for it because no one's going to have a problem with them if they don't finish top of the league. I think if we were to lose and City won, we'd only be a point behind them. So contextually, I don't think it's a must-win game, but spiritually, it's a must-win game because it's Villa and because it would be a statement to the rest of the league. I would say that generally this season, Arsenal have responded when the stakes have been raised. So you would hope that they can do that again. Go and win it, because that would be, you know, unbelievable.
That kind of just, in that bit where if they win tonight, then they can almost be like, look, we can compete against a top team. Not compete, but we can beat a top team, because obviously at the record at the moment don't stand fantastic, right? But now it's almost, for me, if they go and win tonight, then it levels it out. No one's got anything over, because if you look at it, it's a draw. Villa are like, well, we've taken 4 points off Arsenal this year. If we win, we've taken 6 points off Arsenal. If that's a team that's going to go and compete and win the Premier League title, they need to win their home games and not look at any game where they're like, oh, we can take a point here, we can take a point there. Not at home, definitely not.
Are you saying tonight, Charlie, if they don't win tonight, you're saying they won't win the Premier League?
I'm saying if they don't win tonight, then the questions are now going to be asked even more. Because let's be honest, from the start, after 4 or 5 games, everyone's been saying Arsenal haven't got enough, Arsenal haven't got enough. Oh, we'll see, they'll wobble at some certain stage. They haven't at the moment. Now it's coming to that crunch point the halfway of the season where 2 teams are now closer. The gap is closer than ever now. And maybe if they get knocked off their top perch, then can they crawl it back? Who knows?
Scarlett, how confident are you that even if you don't win tonight, you're still going to be fine? And when I say fine, I mean win the league.
I think, those questions are levelled at Arsenal all the time anyway. You're going to be a bottle job until you win the title.
You are. You were going to until you win the title.
It doesn't, I don't think that means that Villa game is a must win purely because of the fact that we might still be top of the league after City play. So, look, it would be a great game to go and win, but it would be absolutely mad to suggest that if we lose that game, we're not still in a really good position to go and win the title.
Now, who starts up front then?
I would like it to be Jesus, but I think sadly it will be Gyökeres. I don't suspect it's going to be such a...
Why sadly?
Because because he hasn't been doing the business. He hasn't been doing enough to start, and Gabriel Jesus has been injured, so he hasn't been able to get onto the being able to start games. So now he's obviously going to put 3, 4, 5 games to come off the bench and then make that number 9 spot his own, really. But Gyökeres hasn't done enough to be, from my opinion, to start as a number 9 for Arsenal.
Tough watch at times, and why I want Jesus to start this game is I think the game at Villa Park was oddly transitional. It was really basketball, which is a kind of game where you would think that someone who really likes tearing in behind would benefit from. I would say that generally this season I've sort of been thinking, this game will be good for Gyökeres, this game will be good for Gyökeres, and then he doesn't go and perform in those games. So I think in this particular match, I think it will be tight. I think it will be tense. I think you want someone who has that control and cuteness and ability. And for me, Gabriel Jesus gives you that. I say sadly, that is obviously a slight overstatement. I think Gyökeres has been okay.
Do you think he'll come good, Scott? Do you think he'll come good?
I think he'll get 15 all comps, whether that's coming good.
All comps? That's not enough. That's not enough. For an Arsenal number 9, which I get. As an Arsenal number 9 that plays in all of them competitions, that's been predominantly brought in to get Arsenal over the line to win the title. It's on him, on his shoulders, to go and score the goals. And 15 for me is not enough.
I think it's enough if we win the league. It's enough if we win the title, right? It doesn't matter how many goals he gets, as long as what he does contributes to us winning the league. I think that's the ultimate question of whether it will be worth it and he'll be good enough.
And that's the only. And if Arsenal do win the league, and it doesn't matter what goals he scores, that's the only thing that's really going to shut people up when it comes to Victor Gyökeres.
He could never score a goal again for Arsenal, and I wouldn't mind if we won the league.
Okay, well, I suppose it's probably fair enough. Yeah. You're desperate for that silverware. There's a voice note from an Arsenal fan called Fletch.
This is an absolutely massive game for us. I really think we need to win it to prove to ourselves that we're properly, well, we are in it, but, favourites. Because I'm nervous. I'm really nervous, and I wasn't a month ago, but the players are nervous, and that really worries me. They're nervous already. What are they going to be like when it's March, April?
Are the players making you nervous, Scarlett?
I think the issue is the back door's been open in recent games, and that sort of started really at Villa Park with that horrible late goal that I've tried to avoid looking at or engaging with since. You had Palace's late equaliser, Wolves, Brighton got back into the game on the weekend, and I think there's a few ways of looking at it. One is we've been playing well, we've not taken our chances, and we've been punished in very small moments for kind of a combination of fatigue and missing players. The other way of looking at it is in our last 4 games, we have created like 9.23 XG or something and only scored 1 open play goal. So, we might go and beat Villa 5-0. It might all be fine.
Scarlett, Charlie's always liked you until he mentioned XG.
Yeah, Scarlett, there you're clutching now. I'm not a big fan of XG. And if you've created 9.2 XG YZ, and you're only scoring 1 or 2 goals. There's a lot to say. At the moment, they're just not doing enough they're not doing enough inside the 18-yard box to put the ball in the back of the net, whether that's making runs or getting the luck of the green.
Well, I think the chances are there. That's the point, right? That's what this XG is suggesting. And we aren't taking them. But you would have to think that after a certain point, they're going to go in, surely. if you're creating that much.
Yeah, but you can
That's
you can say that. You can say that you're creating the chances, but what is it? Missed opportunities, goalkeeper saving. What is it? You can't. It's not just going to change overnight.
I don't know. At the end of the Brighton game, Saka played a brilliant slipped cross into Martinelli. Martinelli was in front of his marker. I don't know, very close to the goal, and he hits it over. How many times does that happen? Martinelli's a decent finisher. If you keep creating that opportunity, it will go in. If you create that quality of opportunity, and I feel like, Trossard hit the post at Everton. If that goal goes in, it's a completely different atmosphere in the game. Arsenal are strolling. I think that's the point I'm trying to make. I don't think we've played badly. I think we've actually played very well. But, the expression is finish your dinner, isn't it? And we have it.
A message from Chris there says, Villa will beat Arsenal tonight. This is the start of the fall for Arsenal. Final question for you, Scarlett. How many Villa players would you take in the Arsenal starting lineup with everyone fit? And which ones?
My mind's going to Watkins and Rodgers, but I actually don't think that they'd get into the first 11. Maybe Watkins, given Arsenal's striker difficulties. But if Havertz is fit, I'm not having Watkins, and I'm not having Rodgers in our midfield either. So, none.
So Ollie Watkins, 5 goals in 18 games. Victor Gyökeres, 5 goals in 16 games in the Premier League.
Well, there we go then. Don't need it. Don't need Ollie Watkins in my starting 11.
My argument.
Or Morgan Rodgers.
I think Morgan Rodgers is fantastic. I mean, not that long ago, Villa fans, were they booing him? Were they laughing at him? I don't know. He's still young. He's still, fluctuating in his form. Obviously, he's an incredible long-range shooter, but, where would he fit in that Arsenal midfield? Would he be the left 8? Would he be the Odegaard play? I'm not having him instead of Rice. And then in terms of what
he don't play in that position. He plays in the 10. Eze will go out wide, and the reason why Watkins will start down the middle because he's Premier League proven, and Gyökeres isn't until years to come, until he can keep putting that ball in the back of net, and I will keep beating that drum until that happens.
I'll keep defending him. I'll keep defending him.
Scored fewer goals than Gyökeres this season.
Yeah, this season, I'm saying Premier League proven. Premier League proven. Gyökeres is Portuguese League proven and EFL Championship proven.
For now. There's still the second half of the season to go. That's what I've been saying. Scarlett, great to see you. Thank you.
See you. Thank you.
There's plenty at stake for them. In fact, if they lose to Arsenal, is it a 2-horse race for the title? Right, Charlie, that seems like a bold claim. But if Villa lose, they'll be 6 points behind Arsenal, despite their best winning run in more than 100 years. 11 in a row, 8 of them in the Premier League. So, what do you think about that? Do you think it is a 2-horse race if they lose?
I think it's respect to Aston Villa, like what they are doing this season has been brilliant. Right, the run they're on, 10 wins on the spins at any time this season is fantastic, right? But do I think it's a 2-horse race regardless of the results tonight? I would say so. I would, other than if they win tonight, for argument's sake, do the board go, right, we're going to spend some money. But for me, I think it's down to Arsenal and City.
But they are only 3 points behind.
But have they got the
momentum? They've only lost 3 games, whereas Man City have lost 4.
Of course, but I'm saying this is where it comes to the January transfer windows. Have they got the squad depth? That's the only question.
Well, what happens then if Villa get a good result tonight? I'd say a draw is a good result.
Yep.
Get a good result tonight, draw or win. Do you think that the board have said to Emery, right, OK, we've got a real chance of winning it this year. Go and get 3-4 first-team players in January.
Do they have...
It would be a bit late to be doing it now, but you get my point.
Yeah, or do they have the realistic look on it where they're like, right, we are where we are at the moment. We are going to bolster the squad to a degree to keep battling. Top 4 Champions League places for Aston Villa is a phenomenal achievement. That's not taking anything away from what they're doing at the moment, week in, week out. They're performing to a high level, week in, week out, and running City and Arsenal close as well as they've done. But for them to get in the top 4 is a massive achievement and get Champions League football back at Villa Park.
Right, OK, let's get to a Villa fan then with Justin Hawthorne. Right, Justin, good morning to you. First of all, who do you think needs a win more tonight, you or Arsenal?
Good morning, chaps. I think Arsenal need a win more than us, don't they? We've got nothing to lose still. We're going into it in fantastic form. 11 wins in a row, Charlie, not 10. Come on, get your stats right, kid. And I think they are literally just in a position where we can go there and have a go at them. You know, I've just been listening to your Arsenal fans on, and they're worried. They are really, really worried, and they are worried because they know what happens to Arsenal every single season. They just keep falling apart when the pressure's on. And our win at Villa Park a few weeks ago has put that seed of doubt into the players. It seemingly has seemed to put it into their fan base, and they're now in a position where we are now rocking up at the Emirates, and they're going to want to, you know, turn it around and beat us. They've got a point to prove, and we've got nothing to lose.
So, do you believe that, Justin? Do you believe you've got nothing to lose?
Yeah,
absolutely nothing to lose.
If you're in a title race, you have got something to lose.
Yeah. So this is what I'm going to the point of. You've got nothing to lose, nothing to lose. Is that because you, in reality, and our realism in football, is that do you really think you can win the Premier League, or is top 4 the big achievement for Aston Villa this season?
Yeah, I think we can win the Premier League, yeah. We've just won 11 on the run.
So how can this be a game where you've got nothing to lose then? If you're really truly going to win the Premier League, then you have to go to these places and win games of football.
Because the manager puts absolutely no pressure on our team. We have game to game, we just go for every single game.
That builds pressure. Winning games of football like this, it builds pressure. Going to Arsenal is a statement win.
Of course it is.
That's
and
pressure on its own.
Win.
So it can't be a no-lose, nothing to lose situation, nothing to lose game.
Mentality-wise, we're going there confident. We're going there in as good a form as we've been in our history. We've got a manager that is so brilliant at, you know, tactic. I mean, you saw the substitutions at the weekend. You know, we're terrible against Arsenal against Chelsea for 60 minutes. The managers just spot something, 3 substitutes, absolutely turn the game on its head, and we won the game. We are going into this game, like Unai keeps saying, he keeps getting asked all the time, are we in a title race? Are we in a title race? We have to live in the moment. This is match week 19. We're halfway, and we're in a fantastic position. So we have to just take each game on its merits. We go there tonight in brilliant form with a fantastic chance of beating Arsenal. I firmly believe that. There's nothing can stop us from going there and trying to win the game tonight.
We've got a voice note from another Villa fan called Matt.
If you're a title contender, every game's a must-win. When you look at Aston Villa, 11 wins in a row, every game's a must-win for us. So I think maybe the Arsenal fans are a little bit rattled, but for Aston Villa, another day at the office. We've beat Man City, we've beat Arsenal. We're going to do the double over the Gunners. Unai Emery, what a mistake by Arsenal to sack him.
It sounds, Justin, like you and Matt agree.
Yeah, like I say, I'm absolutely loving this journey. I'm loving the season. I'm loving what we're doing. It's brilliant. Again, Unai in his press conference before Arsenal said we need to be humble, we need to be confident, but we need to be ambitious, and that's what we are. I can't think of a better time to be a Villa fan.
Our Arsenal fan, Scarlett, I'm not sure if you were listening earlier on, she was saying that in terms of getting into the Arsenal starting 11, if everyone was fit, she did mention Watkins and Rodgers, but then kind of backtracked by saying she's not sure if they would get in. What do you think?
I wouldn't take one Arsenal player currently.
Give over.
That's
Come on.
a lie. Justin,
it's not a lie. Let me explain why.
Saliba?
Let me explain why.
I was going to say Rice.
11 games in a row. There isn't an Arsenal player, in my opinion, that I would take to start for Villa tonight. I think people sort of forget that we're not a team of individuals. We are a proper, well thought out, well put together team. I heard a Chelsea fan after the game at the weekend saying we've spent £1 billion and we're still absolutely clueless how to build a team. We have built a team. And I heard you say a minute ago that, you don't think the squad depth's deep enough. It is deep enough. And I wouldn't add hardly, if any. If we don't sign a player in January, it would not bother me, because that team...
I hope you come on here in March. I hope you come on here in February and March and say, we messed up, we lost 5 in a row, we didn't sign anyone.
Do you think Unai Emery agrees with you?
I haven't got a crystal ball, have I? But what I'm saying is, that team, that squad together is so tight, and everything they're doing is because they believe in each other.
So if you win tonight, Justin, do you think they would go, shall we add to this squad to bolster it?
And what would Emery want? And what would Emery want?
We can't add. The simple fact is that let's go and buy Mbappe. Yeah, brilliant. We can't add. We're adding.
You're not buying Mbappe, mate. You're not doing that silly.
No, that'll be next season when we win the league.
No, that's silly again.
So we're adding a Brazilian lad, a young Brazilian player, by the sound of it. But after that, unless we sell players, which I don't see us doing, we're getting into the transfer window again, and it just leads into my point how we are competing with the teams that are above us. City will spend again, already looking at 60-odd million for Semenyo. Arsenal will probably go and spend a load. United will spend, Tottenham will spend, Chelsea will spend another £1 billion probably. And we cannot spend.
But Justin,
so
that's what I was saying to you.
What we are doing is incredible.
But yeah, totally agree. And this is what I was going with about being in the title race. And why I don't think that they are at the moment, but I think it will end up being a two-horse race because Villa getting into the top 4 is a massive, massive achievement in itself. And then the club can push on again and build on top of what they've done this season. Because they can't at the moment. You can't at the moment because basically you dropped the ball at Old Trafford last year and missed out on goal difference.
Yeah, I mean, you say it's a massive achievement. Since Emery's come in, we've qualified for Europe every single season. And barring one result at Old Trafford at the end of last season, we would have been in the Champions League 2 seasons.
And been able to spend and be able to add bolster the squad in January.
It is not all about that. It's about your revenue streams, and we are expanding the stadium. We've got the North Stand expansion coming. We've got a warehouse project which is opening, which will all help this revenue generating income, which we are still lagging massively behind the other clubs. So it's not just a one-size-fits-all issue. You know, we've got lots of things. We're juggling lots of balls at the moment, and the fact we are doing what we are doing on the pitch is down to one man, Unai Emery. The man is an absolute genius, and it was the worst decision Arsenal ever made, was sacking that man.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. I know that you're very confident about the Europa League as well, under Emery as well, which you were saying last week or the week before. Your next 5 fixtures: so Arsenal tonight away, Forest at home, Palace away, Everton at home, Newcastle away. How many points do you expect from those out of 15 there?
If we get a really positive result tonight, which I really fancy us, I think we can take 12 to 15 points from them.
So, well, 15 would be all 5. So you're thinking, well, I mean, Newcastle and Arsenal away obviously stand out.
The tough games there.
And Palace, especially at the start of the season,
Palace we have a bit of a thing about, but if we get a win tonight, then the 2 home games I think we win, Forest and Everton, and then 2 tough away games. Obviously, every game's a tough game in the Premier League, you know. But if we're going into that Palace game with 2 more wins behind us, then what's saying we can't get there and beat them?
And that's the thing, Justin. You build on the raw. I think you're expected to win your home games, right? You are if you're competing at the top, like you say, tonight's is a tough game, but then away games you go to Palace, which is a tough game, and then we know at the moment what Newcastle are at home compared to what they are away, so that's another tough game. There's 5 tough games there, but like you say, there's 5 winnable games there also if you can continue on this run, and that'll be 16, won't it? Be a phenomenal achievement.
I'm coming on here sounding like we're winning every game. We win the league. We've got the best squad in the world. No, I'm coming on here.
That's what you just said.
Watching.
That's what you said.
watching the best run of form in that history. So if I can't come on here and say what I'm saying, then I never will ever be able to do it, because we're in dreamland at the moment. It's phenomenal.
It's a happy fan base with a manager you are all behind. OK, Justin, thank you.
Cheers, Justin.
Thanks, lads.